Hello, and welcome to the second part of Who Do You Trust? Story about the disciples in the ship with Jesus as he slept during the storm. This one here, maybe I'll just call it Great Storm, Great Calm. Who do you trust? Did you notice in the last passage that we read, it said there came a great tempest. And then when Jesus rebuked the winds and the sea, it said there was a great calm. It also says that in this passage in Mark 4. And this time I'm going to state that the disciples trusted in their emotions. Here it is. And when they had sent away the multitudes, they took him even as he was in the ship, and there were also with him other little ships. This is in Mark 4, now in verse 37. And there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship so that it was now full. This is mentioned in all three accounts. This one, the last one we read in Matthew 8, this one Mark 4, and the next one in Luke 8 that we'll do tomorrow. And he was in the hinder part of the ship asleep on a pillow, and they wake him, and they say unto him, Master, carest thou not that we perish? And he arose and rebuked the wind, and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he said unto them, Why are ye so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? And they feared exceedingly, and said one to another, What manner of man is this, that even the winds and the seas obey him? Once again, I don't know if I pointed this out last time, but the winds and the seas obey him, but the disciples did not. Notice that he commanded the wind and the waves to cease, but he didn't command the disciples to cease. But he questioned their faith. Listen, to hear that little sonar sound? It's a little sound effect I have in the background, a subtle little sound effect to... Now it quits. Oh, there it is. It either sounds like the lunar space landing or something with the sea. But this is a track from Ben-Hur's, the motion picture soundtrack of Ben-Hur. This is from The Burning Desert, track 13. Listen to this. This music, this track always reminds me of this scene in the Bible where the disciples are on the ship and the storm comes along. Little advertisement for Phillips. This music is great. You can really picture the scene with the disciples and the terror that they felt as they were flailing about in the ship. You know, and the waves and everything was beating about on the ship. And then as we skitter along here to 3:05. See, now all of a sudden, okay, here it comes. This is where Jesus says, Peace, be still. And then this comes. That's Christ's theme. Now, I don't know what's with that beep, beep, beeping noise. There must be the batteries conking out. That's what that was. Right, there's Christ's theme. Michaelos wrote that great piece of music, and it works. But I can picture the disciples being in great terror. I mean, think about it. Their emotions failed them. When the storm started coming along, they probably thought, just a little squall. And then all of a sudden it gets a little worse. Then it gets a little worse. And then they think, we can handle this. They're self-righteous, thinking, that's not the word. They're trusting in themselves. That was what I mentioned last time, their works. They think, we can handle this. Well, then they couldn't handle it. It was the big one, boy. The storms came and they were freaking out, and they went down and, finally they said, well, maybe we can't handle this. And so they went down and they grabbed Jesus and they asked him, help us, don't you care? And yes, of course he cared. We'll talk about that more in the next video. But just the fact that, sometimes we trust in our emotions and then we realize, this ain't working for us. We need help. And it's okay to do that. Your emotions will fail you, but God uses your emotions to teach you something. He did that with the disciples. Can you imagine the emotion as they, we're in terror, and then Jesus says, peace, be still, and then all of a sudden all you can hear is the dripping off the edge of the boat. And then they could hear their heart within their chest and in their ears, thump, 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 and breathing hard, and it's all quiet. And boy, they must have felt kind of dumb, and Jesus probably just turned and went back and went to bed. Pretty neat. Consider that. All right, ask the Lord, especially when you got storms coming in your life, don't trust in your emotions. Trust in the Lord, but let the Lord use your emotions to guide you. All right? You'll know when it comes. Thanks for watching. One more video to go on the subject.